Tarukane was a man of business, but the type of business that he dealt in was not for the faint of heart. Make no mistake about it, in this world, if you think that demons are the only true evil, someone told you wrong. No, mankind from its very inception has always had a propensity for darkness. But, more often than not, the moral law of nature keeps many men from achieving the true darkness of the world, aspiring to an evil so terrifying that even demons can shudder. But Tarukane was not such a man. And men like him, they come together in droves. People who hide in the shadows, always locking away who they truly are on the inside, giving in to their vices. Tarukane hailed to a club, a distinguished group of individuals who control money so vast and great that, quite frankly, no government could control them. But you don't get this type of money by doing the right thing, by having a good heart. No, he was a part of a group known as the Black Club, an organization of humans who were truly terrifying, who redefined the definition of evil. For them, why was not even a question. It wasn't even in their vocabulary, because they'd never have to ask it. To do what you want, when you want, and how you want it, that was the only law of order for the Black Club, to which all 6 members, including Tarukane, lived by that code. And of course, when you're as despicable as they are, you don't just seek your own advantage among everyday people. No, you try to screw over other members in the club. And Tarukane, he'd come to a surefire bet, a scheme that couldn't fail. He had shown the Toguro brothers one of his experiments. When you have his type of money, you don't waste time buying things like mansions and cars and boats, women. Sure, you could, but you wouldn't even put a dent in the fortune. You go into the black market. You pay top-tier scientists. You pay those in the occult. You do things that are unholy. That's how you come across things like Helen. Helen used to be a human woman. The key word used to be. Whatever Helen was now, whatever the abomination that the boys in the lab could create, that's all that Helen had become. A monstrous beast. The truly twisted ingenuity of both science and magic brought together to create the absolute worst. Of course, for Tarukane, he thought that this was an opportunity to put some fear into the Toguros. After all, their low-level henchmen were getting taken out left and right by the intruders, so maybe they weren't all they were cracked up to be. Tarukane wanted to see if they'd turn tail and run. He offered any of them the opportunity to fight against the creature. The taller Toguro sighed at this. Sure, he would do what he was told as long as he was getting paid. It didn't mean he had to like it. He even made that very clear. He didn't feel like killing this thing. But of course, he wasn't going to turn it down. As the Toguro walked into the room, Tarukane actually became pretty fearful. Sure, he was trying to get a rise out of the two of them, maybe to cut their pay a little bit, but he didn't think that the Toguro would actually take on the challenge. Hey, what are you doing? You don't need to actually fight that thing. I was just messing around. It's just... Once I give my word, the deed is as good as done. Calm yourself. I won't even need to use 30% of my power. 30%? What? You mean to say he doesn't even have to go all out? The smaller of the Toguros just laughed at that question. It was foolish. He had watched his brother, and he knew him better than anyone. Something like this wouldn't even be a challenge. Toguro would begin to access 30% of his power, his muscles beginning to expand as he began to grow slightly in size. You could definitely say he was a gym rat, if anything else. In one swift motion, Toguro would dodge the attack from the beast before punching it clean in half. The monster was killed without any ceremony, more bloody. Toguro lamented at this. I think I overdid it. Perhaps if I had just used 20% of my power, I would have been able to go for a cleaner strike. 20%? You mean he only used 30% of his power, and this was considered overkill? Oh, yeah. Yeah. You Toguros are something else. Yeesh, I tell ya. Say, I know how I can make some money off of this. Tarukane would call for his assistant, getting the members of the Black Club online, everyone appearing on the screens in Tarukane's lab chair as he sat to discuss business. Among the members, a young man by the name of Sakio. He was the youngest of the group. He had risen prominently through his exploits in the world, and it was safe to say he had earned himself a pretty decent fortune. The members of the Black Club would ask why they had been called, and Tarukane would explain the terms of the wager. I just figured that you gentlemen would be in the interest of having a friendly bet. A bet, Tarukane? You're always one to come with a scheme. No scheme. I've just got a couple of intruders trying to get in on my business. And I just want to make a wager as to which side will win. The intruders or my own hired guns. Hired guns. And I have to assume that you've called in the best of the best. Surely, Tarukane, you make a bet in good faith. Of course I do. Cross my heart and hope to die. Pinky promise. Like I would ever take any bet off of your diabetes-ridden pinky. If the ring fits. Come on now, it's a friendly wager. What do you got to lose? The monitor would show the individuals attempting to break in. These are nothing more but children. What are we to worry about with them? What's the matter? You afraid of making a friendly bet? Those kids are actually more powerful than you give them credit. The boy in green? He's not just any ordinary child. He's actually a spirit detective in possession of the Star Heart. The other members of the Black Club couldn't believe the words being spoken by Tarukane. Word had gone around about a new spirit detective, a young man in possession of the sacred weapon known as the Star Heart. Yes, in selective circles there were rumors about this great weapon, along with the tales of the spirit detective. You see, the trade of dealing with the demons is not a new one. For centuries, many powerful humans have made deals with the devil in a way of speaking. And throughout the eras, there was always one, a being of great power who stood against them, a shining emerald light in a world of darkness. This title was known as the Green Lantern. The Green Lantern served the role of spirit detective. From generation to generation, a Green Lantern usually arose when the world was steeped in darkness. Even now, there were tales that even spanned back to the late 1940s. Tales of a Green Lantern who fought during the events of World War II, when the Nazi Party were beginning to infiltrate into the occult, attempting to use otherworldly powers to win them the war. Among many of them the Führer himself, who attempted to gain one of the more powerful of artifacts, a thing known as the Spear of Destiny. But his plans were thwarted by the likes of the spirit detective. There were also tales of a woman who later inherited that power, as well as another young man who showed promise as a spirit detective but later vanished. For many, they thought that the lineage had died off a long time ago, that the Star Heart and its user had been killed in the line of duty. But now, just as always, it had returned, along with the problems that came with it. Still, Tarukane was more than fair. Look, I'm not making this bet in bad faith. I have powerful allies on my side as well, and I'm going to be betting on them. So tell me, which will it be? Experienced killers or inexperienced heroes? The members of the Black Club would make their choice. All save for Sakio would choose the demons. And, in the first bet, Yuskue and Kuwabara would win, managing to get through the landfill of mines as well as the low-level demons that met them outside the gates. Once they had gone inside, the second stage of the bet would begin. Toguro offered up his personal group of demons, known as the Triad, to battle against the boys next. And once again, the Black Club, raising up their stakes, making bets in the billions, would place their money on the demons. But Sakio, once again, would place his bet on the humans. And, to a surprise of everyone except Sakio, Yuskue and Kuwabara would win once again. Now the club were starting to become a bit frantic. Sure, betting into the billions was no problem, but at some point your pockets started to stretch a little. Sweat started to fall down your furrowed brow. Every man looked confident when you were betting 500 billion, but even then that was getting into a little bit of risky territory. As for Tarukane, he began to look at Sakio differently. Without any hesitation, without any sort of fear, he calmly continued to bet against him. The house was starting to stack up. Every time he lost a bet, he had to pay double what he promised. And safe to say, Tarukane slowly found himself in the hole. But now they were getting to the end. All right. I think it's time to take off the kid gloves, don't you think? Mr. Tarukane, are you sure it's wise to continue down this path? Perhaps you should just pay what you owe and leave it at that. At least then you will be given a chance to rebuild your funds. Oh, please. Enough of that pansy talk. You think I'm scared of a little wager? You think I ain't never been down before? Look, they always say it ain't over till the fat lady sings. And the last time I checked, I don't see the chubby broad singing anywhere. So as far as I'm concerned, we're just getting to the main event. There's only one line of defense left. And I'll tell you this. If you're foolish enough not to get in on this action, well, I don't know what to tell you. Sakio, you seem to be the man with the plan, the one who's got the inside scoop on everything. Well, tell me, can you put your money where your mouth is? Because I've got one line of defense left, and let me just say, it's gonna put every little cent you've got to shame. I've got the infamous Toguro brothers. Murmuring began to spread among the other members of the Black Club. The exploits of the Toguro brothers could not be understated. In the criminal underworld, especially in the mystic side of things, they were definitely feared. The exploits of the Toguro brothers were no small feat and not something to be taken lightly. But at the same time, the spirit detective, he too had a reputation of his own. Which side would win? The power of youth or the power of experience? In the end, everyone looked to Sakio. He was the one who had the hot hand at the moment, betting on the youth, and it was paying off well. So how about it, Sakio? You being the youngest of all of your contemporaries? Why is it that you picked the youth? Do you feel a kindred spirit to them? Perhaps you see a bit of yourself. The young are always brash, betting on the future, never knowing that it takes experience and grit to get where you are. Do my decisions upset you, Mr. Terukane? Sakio asked. I'm not upset at all. We're all grown-ass men around here. You make your big boy decisions and you live with the consequences. I just don't think you're as fully informed and fully knowledgeable as you think you are. I've seen plenty of people like you, Sakio. Plenty of arrogant rich bastards who live young and die young. Today, you've got all the money in the world. The next thing you know, you're slinging burgers at McDonald's or you're tricking on the corner. Quite frankly, I don't care. But when I win, I don't want to hear no sob story or I owe you or I got you next time. You're gonna pay me every single cent of what you owe. And if not, I won't kill you. But I see that you're someone who likes to keep himself clean. And you know, I have some friends who love to deal with someone like you. Long hair, those pretty eyes. Yeah, you look like you could keep someone comfortable. Well, Mr. Terukane, I see you love to paint a colorful scene. And you're right. I do fortune the future, the youth. After all, they are the ones who will inherit the earth and everything in it. And quite frankly, I think your time has long since passed. What was that? Here is my wager. I am betting on the intruders. 66,200,000,000. 60 what? 66,200,000,000? He's insane! Why would he bet so much? That's almost his entire fortune. That's all his fortune. Everything. Terukane, are you sure about this? If you lose, with how deep you're in the hole, you'll have absolutely nothing. He's right, you know. Perhaps you might want to pull out of this while you still can. Even if you were to make that girl cry all day and night, you'll never be able to get out of this type of debt. In fact, you'll probably have to spend the whole week making her cry just to pay off what you have now. Well, Terukane, Sakio said, do you have conviction? Or are you ready to pull out? Either way, I'm getting paid regardless. And I have associates who will make sure that it happens. Terukane found himself in a bind. What was he going to do? If he lost everything. Everything. And more. Being kicked out of the club would be out of the question. He'd be left to the mercies of the world. Another thing to consider. When you live this type of life, you make a lot of enemies. More often than not, your enemies can never reach you. Money is a powerful tool. Money protects you in a lot of ways, but the moment you don't have it, the second that it's gone, and that becomes knowledge, you start hearing a lot of knocks on your door. No matter where you run, you're always looking over your shoulder. There's always someone watching you. Because in every part of the world, you have an enemy. An enemy that's just waiting to prey on your downfall. But Terukane did not stutter. Nor did he lack any of his gumption. The other members of the club would not be participating in the final round. They were simply going to watch the final match. Now the ball was in his court. Terukane versus Sakio. Fine. $66,200,000,000? That's how you want to play it? All right then, fine. I won't just play your game. I'll double it. Tarukane, this is insane. Surely you don't mean to. Yeah, I've been sick of Sakio and all of his bullshit for long enough. You think you can come here and make a fool out of me? Nah, not gonna happen. No, this one is for all the marbles, and I'm putting everything I got and double it on the Toguro brothers to kick those kids' sorry ass. I'll get my hands on that ring too. Yeah, that'll fetch me maybe triple of what this bet will give. No. In the end, I'm gonna bankrupt your sorry ass. And when it's all said and done, when you're left squandering on the street and you ain't got a pot to piss in, you're gonna cup your hands together, you're gonna get down on your knees like a little bitch that you are, and you're gonna beg me. You're gonna beg me like you ain't ever begged me before, pretty boy. Yeah, and who knows what I'll make you do. Who knows? I got a lot of time on my hands to figure it out. You wanna go? Let's go! You know what they say about dogs? The smallest ones always have the loudest bark. Toguro, I want you and your brother to wipe the floor with these kids. I don't care what you gotta do to get it done. I want blood. I want heads to roll. I want you to crush them. Give it everything you've got. Don't hold back anything. I don't want 20%. I don't want 30%. You better give me 100%. Do you understand? No need to have a heart attack, sir, the taller Toguro said with a grin. I've been looking forward to this fight. I have no intentions on losing. That's what I like to hear. Tarukane would also call his assistant as well. Get the girl out of the chamber and bring her to me immediately. I still have faith that we're gonna win this, but I want to keep all our cards close to the vest. And make sure the chopper's gassed up too. Yes, sir. In the event of the worst case happening, we need to be ready to flee immediately. I'm gonna be deep in the debt, but as long as I've got that girl, I've still got a chance. I can still recover. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care if I've got to make that bitch cry till the end of time. She'll get me back my money, one way or another. Deep underground, Yuskue, Kuwabara, and Botan would race to the only opening that they could find. Jeez, Urameshi, I can't believe we had to waste all our time with those 3 demons. And because you just had to play with your new toys. What? I watched too much Power Rangers. We fought against that giant ogre and, well, just thought it was morphin' time. So you made a giant Megazord? Well, yeah, it was cool as hell. I still can't believe you had to grope on that other demon. Well, I mean, things didn't look right up top, so I just gave the bottom a check and, well, you know what they say. The family jewels have not been stolen. Sheesh, you're kind of a creep, Urameshi. Oh, shut up! As they burst through the final door, they found themselves in a large underground arena. Multiple monitors looking on ahead, and Yukina behind the glass-mirrored wall along with Tarukane and his guards. Yukina, my love! I told you! We were gonna come to save you! It's been no problem at all! Tarukane, Yuskue said, I sure hope you've got better monsters than this. Otherwise, for a guy with a lot of money, you sure do pay for crap. Standing before them, the 2 Toguro brothers. Detective Yuskue Urameshi, the Green Lantern. Yeah, that'll be me. What can I do for you? Do me the honor of having glorious battle. I've been waiting for this, and for you. I want to see what you're truly capable of. He who inherits the Star Heart. So you know about this, Yuskue said. Then you should know a lot of trouble comes when people are trying to fight me. You really want those problems? I relish those problems. You're a cocky bastard, I'll give you that. Watching on from his monitor, Sakio sat alone in his office. But he felt the presence of another, a familiar hand who had served him many times. Care for a drink? No, thank you, sir. Just came to watch. It seems like Togoro's finally getting what he wants. You like to gamble? Would you care to make a wager? No. I already know how this is going to end. No point in wasting my money. You know me well. It's not really a bet when you're already on the inside. So tell me, how much are you paying them to throw this fight? No charge. This was on the house. He just wanted to see the powers of the detective for himself. But for you, I can't imagine that you wish for a different outcome. The old man flipped the playing card in his hand. The playing card of the ace. It doesn't matter. In the end of the day, the only one that's going to kill that bastard is gonna be me. This concludes Yu Yu Hakusho Emerald Detective. Way of Yuskue Urameshi was the Green Lantern. Season 1, Part 13. If you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is Power Core Productions and Podcastings that's to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned next Monday evening as we continue and conclude Yu Yu Hakusho Emerald Detective. Way of Yuskue Urameshi was the Green Lantern. Season 1, Part 14, the Season 1 finale. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with Power Core Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.